Tonight marks 2 years since this massive fire. It forced about 2,000 people in Richmond out of their homes. And now, after all this time, neighbors there are still trying to recover. And to do that in part, they've just filed a new lawsuit. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Anne Marie in for Scott here at 11. Some of the people involved in the case told our 13 Investigates reporter Sierra Putman they believe the city is trying to avoid any financial responsibility for this fire.
We had parking along the side of the building, and then in the building, of course, was the base.
Looking at his former business,
I want to cry. I don't want to be here.
Troy Wilson,
It's sad. It really is.
remembers 2 decades building a life as a mechanic. Then this changed it all in just one day.
Me and my daughter called 911.
The flames and billowing smoke forced Troy to evacuate first his business, then his home. He was one of 2,000 Richmond residents told to stay away for 5 days. The fire wreaked havoc on the community and the mechanic's bottom line.
Financially, it took a big wipe.
He believes it also impacted his health.
You know, after that smoke, my stomach hurt all the time, and then I fell out and kind of find out it was chronic pancreatitis.
Troy had to stop working.
To know every day when I get up, I can't do it no more. And it's, you know, because of health, and I know in my heart that it was this right here.
He and his attorney believe they can prove the fire resulted in health problems. Troy and the 150 other residents are suing the owner of the plastics warehouse, Seth Smith, and the city of Richmond. His suit and a separate class action lawsuit accuse the city and Smith of negligence, being a private nuisance, and battery. Attorney Jenna Kahneman says the residents want financial compensation for damages like hotel costs, lost wages, and for pain and suffering.
There might be some people who watch this and they might think going after the city is a money grab. What do you say to those people?
It's not a money grab because the city of Richmond in and of itself needs to take care of its people. At this point, the city is the one grabbing the money. They're taking these citizen taxpayer dollars and they're just throwing it at lawyers to just sit back and say, nope, we're not responsible.
Seth Smith owned all the materials that caught fire and that piece of land. But this incident report from the Department of Homeland Security and the State Fire Marshal's Office says initial reports state the fire started over here on a piece of land owned by the city of Richmond. Land the city took over in 2021 after years of issues with plastics and hazardous materials piling up. Local leaders commissioned an air plume study because they fear the fire could lead to possible evacuations of the area. At one point, Smith even described the property as out of control. Despite that history, Smith's attorneys wrote in federal court filings, Smith did not cause or contribute to the release of any hazardous substances and therefore cannot be liable, writing the fire was caused by an unknown arsonist. As for the city, it denies any wrongdoing and argues it's immune from liability under Indiana law.
Instead, they are fully raising their hands, washing their hands clean and saying, we are not responsible for this matter at all, and they're doubling down on that. They haven't offered a single penny to the citizens. You
know, it's the people that live here, we eat here, we spend our paychecks here. You know, the money would go back into the community anyway.
The city declined 13 Investigates interview requests, but did share that it paid nearly $205,000 to outside law firms relating to the fire.
Why can't they spend that $200,000 making us citizens whole? So if they spend all this money fighting it, instead of just going ahead and doing what's right.
In Richmond, Sierra Putman, 13 Investigates.
So again, this was just a new filing, and so if you think about it, we really are a long way from seeing how these lawsuits will play out. But it is worth noting that the Indiana state law does have a cap for the total amount that the city could have to pay for any single incident, and that cap is $5 million. If you would like to learn more, you can learn more and see more of our Richmond warehouse fire coverage right now on WTHR Plus. You can download that WTHR Plus app on your TV and you can watch it. It's free.